This video is produced by the Global Communication Center at Carnegie Mellon University, and it emphasizes the most common advice that we teach to students working on resumes and cover letters. In this video, we are going to focus on just two lessons. First, we will teach you how to read a job ad in order to determine what is most important to readers, what their priorities are. And then we will teach you how to position this important information so that it is in places where the readers will see it. So let's take a look at a sample job ad for an operations research analyst. I'd like you to pause your video for a minute to determine what key skills this ad seems to be prioritizing. Now, as I looked at the ad, I see three key skills that are emphasized multiple times. So analysis, I saw a lot on teamwork, leadership, and collaboration, and a lot on communication. Let me show you where I'm seeing these in the ad. So first of all, in the overview, analysis or analytic mentioned at least 4 times. And as we get into the responsibilities, I'm seeing a focus on analytic methodologies or modeling and analysis or execute analysis that suggests that these readers are really looking for analytic methods or analytic approaches. I saw a lot also on leadership and collaboration, lead development, work with stakeholders and experts, present findings to senior leadership and clients. These all suggest both teamwork and a lot of communication that is necessary for this job. So if these are the key skills that we want to emphasize, let's talk about where we place them on the page. And what I'm going to show you is a heat map of a recruiter looking at a resume. The hotter colors, the red and the yellow, indicate that more time was spent on these passages. So I want you to notice a couple of things. First, if we divide the page vertically so that there's a left column and a right column, information on the left is red, whereas information on the right often just skipped over. People don't make it necessarily to the end of a line, to the end of a bullet point. And then the reader looks at this information in sections, pays more attention to the top of each section than to the bottom of each section. This means that your most important skills, most important information should appear at the top and left of each section. Readers won't necessarily make it to the end of the line, they won't make it to the end of the section, and they also very rarely read more than one line per bullet point. So as we look at these 3 skills, we really want to see these communicated within, I think, the first probably 6 words, maybe 8 words of a bullet point, and within the first 3 or 4 bullets in a particular section. So let's look at a draft of a section of a writer's resume. Go ahead and pause for a second and see if you can figure out where these skills are emphasized. Now I'm going to go through and read this like a recruiter. So as I look at this, I'm going contributed as a production support engineer. This just seems like the job title. Engaged team members, manager. Well, of course, that's what we do in jobs. Provided timely and accurate communications. I hope so. Selected to be part of a process. Okay, selected doesn't tell me anything. Automated and improved many processes. Okay, but of course, that's what a software engineer does. Work closely with other applications. Okay, of course. It's not till we get to this point right here, by which time many recruiters will stop reading, but it's right here where we start to get to something that's really maybe a little bit more impressive. So let me show you a revision of this. And let me read this revision like a recruiter. So led a 9-person team and collaborated with other teams. Okay. Communicated financial impact analyses, used statistical modeling, improved overall efficiency by 80%. I think this does a much better job highlighting the key skills that the employer wants to see. We see the word analysis a couple of times and different types of analysis. We see leadership at the top. We see communication here. And for all of these bullets, I thought very carefully about how they were worded and what should go first. For instance, on this one right here, I thought about beginning it analyzed and communicated to get the word analysis even earlier, or possibly communicated to clients to really emphasize that this person has experience working with clients. The point here is that there's multiple ways to communicate any experience, and you should work on communicating it so that the most important part of that experience, responsibility, or duty is communicated within the first few words. Likewise, I also thought very carefully about the order in which these appeared. I decided to start with leadership because I thought that that did the most to distinguish this candidate from anybody else who had the same degree. However, for a different job ad and a different employer, I might change the order of these items, or I might change the emphasis, starting with a different key skill or keyword to better match what that particular employer or position is looking for. Overall, I think these 4 bullet points do a better job reinforcing the key skills than the original description that had about 9 or 10 different bullet points. We also want to apply the same principle of prioritization and ordering in other sections of the resume, such as the skills section. Think about which languages, which software would be most important for this employer, this ad, and then structure it so that those skills appear at the beginning of the list. For this job, I might consider putting Python and R up towards the beginning, and possibly taking off Word. As a matter of fact, I would definitely take off Word, and probably taking off Excel, because those seem like low-level skills that aren't really worth emphasizing here. So, as we look at these 2 principles that I've emphasized so far, we can also apply these to a cover letter. First, you should check with the Career and Professional Development Center to make sure it makes sense for you to write a cover letter. If you do write a letter, try to describe skills that are not apparent from the resume, and likewise, try to get those high priority skills in places that will really catch readers' attention. In other words, get to high priority information near the top of the letter and at the beginnings of paragraphs. Do not assume that your reader will make it to the end of a paragraph or that your reader will make it to the end of a letter. For further information on resumes and cover letters, we encourage you to visit the Career and Professional Development Center. Thank you.